Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/Pro Revenge. Let's start with a story in which a military man was suspended because of one mistake, but it's better not to joke with our OP. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. My uncle's revenge on his manager and coworkers. My uncle worked for a military contractor that helps on the nearby Air Force base. He recently quit, being put on suspension for his first and only screw-up on the job. Mind you, I'm no expert at everything he does, but I know that he was really good at his job, and he probably was the best one out there, considering. Let's go through the reasons his job really sucked. First, his coworkers were lazy and they didn't want to get any work done. They'd come into work for their 8 hours and leave him, the only one that likes getting crap done, alone or with a few others to fix everything. On top of that, they don't follow orders well, causing more damage than good. Second, they're all yes men to his boss, now known as Crappy Manager or SM. Third, there's rampant sexual harassment, men and women, all around. So there's been problems, but no one will say anything for fear of their job, pissing off others, or getting in trouble themselves. But that day came, the day that my uncle began to get revenge. First, he was forced to leave because he screwed up a check. He had to go back to the main building. On the way, or before leaving, there was a conversation over radio that was damning for SM that, unbeknownst to my uncle, was recorded by HR. They had already been building a case, so it would seem. My uncle put in his 2 weeks that day, on suspension and not returning to work. He had to file his exit paperwork. He went into the HR person who asked her own questions before my uncle gave her something no one else had. A 3-page resignation letter. It's rare for anyone to bring one, much less a 3-page one. Inside it listed everything SM and his buddies had done the entire course of his employment and why he was leaving. I also found out that SM had actually begged for my uncle to come back, but he didn't, and others began to quit after him. Probably because they realized very quickly, knowing how my uncle takes no crap from anyone, that crap was about to hit the fan. On top of this, SM was trying to get a hold of the letter before HR saw it, but they refused, and it's going to be sent all the way up with no chance for him to refute it. Regardless, this is still going on, but it seems that the 3 pages that my uncle took his time to write is going to be one piece of damning evidence for the entire section of the contractor company to be restructured. And our second story. Play nice. I'm a prosecuting attorney, the plaintiff. In my line of work, I file a charging document that specifies the crime I intend to prove. We file them all day, every day, and they are standardized. A computer does 99% of the work. I just plug in variables. They're the exact same in every county across my state. So, annoying defense attorney 2 files a motion with the court requesting the particulars. Understand the law requires us to specify enough detail in our charging document so that the accused knows exactly what we're talking about. The statute specifies that we must cite the date, location, and conduct that amounts to the charge. With that much information, almost anyone can figure out what we're referring to. Asking the court for particulars means that the defense disagrees that our charging document is specific enough. The defense wants the court to order me to be more precise. It's something of an annoying motion because I know dang well that the defense is aware of the conduct I'm referring to. I even spoke to him over the phone, and he started going off about how this client didn't do this or that, and I said, it's clear that you know what I'm talking about. Why are you demanding particulars? His response was simply that my charging document was defective, and if I wasn't going to file a sufficiently detailed one, he would have the court make me do it. Well, fine then. So I go down to the hearing and the judge reviews my charging document. I told His Honor that everything required to be in it was there, and that the defense attorney had even referenced the event in our conversation, so he had knowledge. The court, not wanting to deny a motion that would favor a defendant, looked up at me and said, "Go ahead and file a supplemental document that meets all the requirements for particular state." Fine. So I went back upstairs and generated a brand shiny new copy of the exact same document. Then I filed it. A couple weeks later, we were back in court. The defense was raging. He argued that I had simply disregarded the court's orders, filed defective documents, wah. I asked the judge to review my document and compare it to the statute. I pointed out that the date, location, and conduct were all described in detail. I also referenced his actual order, which was that I file a document that meets the requirements. This document met them. The judge removed his glasses, rubbed his eyes, and said, "So it does." He then looks at the defense and says, "I find that the state has met its burden for specifying the particulars. Next issue?" The defense attorney fumed for a minute, looked around the courtroom, and then requested to stand down. I smiled. And our last story. No, Karen, I will not commit a felony because your kid wasn't allowed in. Backstory. For the past 7 months, I've been working as a slot technician at my local casino and resort. And I've definitely seen my fair share of things. Make it hit and I'll give you a tip-esque people. Tweakers on nickel machines who smell of stale Cheetos and pee. You know, the whole 9 yards. So about a month ago, a woman was stopped at the front door by a security guard because she was trying to bring in her what seemed to be 12 or 13-year-old wheelchair-handicapped son into the casino floor, which here, like most places, is 20 years old or older to enter, no exceptions. I was overhearing the conversation with security and a uniformed security agent at the main entrance. Key. EM is entitled mother, U is uniform, SG is security guard. EM. Why won't you let my son in? He's in a effing wheelchair. It's not like he'll be playing any of the games. He'll be right beside me. You could have a security guard be over me. Bear in mind, security is wearing thin because they're short-staffed that day. U. It's state law. We can't allow him onto the gaming floor. EM. But he's beside me. He's not physically able to hit any keys. I'm on vacation from location, and I want to play the slots. I don't have anyone else to give him to. SG. Sorry, ma'am, no exceptions. We can escort you to the buffet and the entrance to the hotel, but that's it. EM. So escort me to the slot machine and give my son to someone to watch over him. U. There's nobody in the building that can do that. EM. Come on. They let me do this in Vegas when he was 10. U. I'm sorry. You have to go. She left, extremely pissed off, and I was behind a short wall laughing my butt off. But this isn't where the story ends. About an hour later, she comes back without her son and got let in to play one of our newest games that our department installed. I'm not sure if it was common, but she got into her purse and taped a picture she just took of her son in front of the entrance of our casino. I know it was today because of the clothes she was wearing and the fancy lighting in the doorway of the casino, and SG was confused as to why she was taking a picture of him after they got escorted out. And since there was a Staples near our casino, she might have got it printed out there. So, as with most casinos I'm aware of, our cash-out system prints out tickets and you can use in other machines, but you have to put the ticket face side up into the machine, otherwise it'll jam and they'll have to call a floor attendant, if it didn't have credits already on it, or a slot tech to fix it. Unfortunately, all of our floor attendants were all busy on jackpots with our supervisors, so slot techs had to take care of whatever comes to them. As I was passing by the section she was in, I noticed EM jammed the bill acceptor purposely by repeatedly putting the ticket in upside down until the machine read "Call Attendant" on it, and since I was right there, I helped her. Me is me. Duh. Me. What seems to be the problem? EM, the damn ticket wouldn't go in. I can't play this game. Don't worry, ma'am. I'll fix this up for you and you can keep playing. I then call the machine into surveillance so they don't get alarmed that I opened a machine. Well, since you have it open and it's broken, maybe you can give me a free play for my troubles. I apologize, ma'am. I'm just a slot technician. I don't have the power to do that. You can go to the Players Club and talk to them if you'd like. Well, rude. Since you know the machines and currently opened up mine, can you fix it to hit a big jackpot? I need the money for my son. She then proceeds to the picture she taped on the machine. Ma'am, I don't have the authority to make it hit, and I certainly don't think it's possible, as it was pseudo-random as I was aware of. EM. But my son is wheelchair-ridden, and I need that money for medical expenses. Are you trying to stop me from doing that? Me closing up the machine after handing her ticket back. Nope, machine's ready for you. Let me put a little fairy dust on it for good luck. I then proceeded to rub the machine with non-existent fairy dust in the hope of her getting lucky, as I do when I fix a machine up to give happiness to the patron. EM, pointing to my keys, well, why don't you make yourself actually useful and use your fairy wand to grant me my wish? As I said, I have no power to do that. What are you, R-word? I'm only asking you to rig the machine to pay out for my sick effing son. Are you mentally handicapped, boy? It's not coming out of your effing paycheck. Let me tell you, I was bullied for being different all my life, and other than being called fat, so it really hit too close to home. Me trying not to burst out crying, unfortunately, I don't have the authority to do such a thing. I don't. In my state, it's considered a felony. She yelled at me, berating me, calling me spastic, which I later found out is a highly offensive term for a handicapped person in Great Britain, and how I was too stupid to be doing a job like this, among other offensive terms. I called my supervisor about the ordeal, and while I was calling him, 2 of our city's policemen came to her and arrested her for child endangerment. She'd apparently left her kid outside in 30-degree Fahrenheit weather in the car, and a security guard on parking lot patrol noticed him and asked a few questions. And yes, her picture was sent to us from surveillance, and now she's on a permaban list for our casino. That's horrible. I hope you're okay. As for the mom, what self-centered bee leaves her kid just to hit a few slots? If she really wanted to pay for her expenses, she could have gotten a job and started working instead of asking an employee to commit a felony. What a butt. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.